And welcome back, folks. We're sitting here in Copenhagen in a turnaround state, as you can see. I have been off having myself a little run and some dinner, and meanwhile the plane has been sitting here. We are online on VATSIM and are getting ready to get on to our next leg, which is from Copenhagen to Dublin in the chase for some good ATC. Normally Copenhagen is quite active alongside Sweden, but so far there has been no ATC showing up, but who knows, they might show up while we are getting ready to go. There are a few aircraft about. I see Scandinavian, and I think we have Nordtrans, part of the Norwegian group behind us, going to Stockholm, and one going to Manchester, so there are some traffic here. I haven't done anything since I left the cockpit from our last flight from Oslo to Copenhagen. So we have been sitting here for 2 hours and 10 minutes because our last flight took us about 1 hour. If you did see that last flight video, you would know that we had some horrible crosswind conditions in Copenhagen, which really made our landing, let's say, lively. We had a bounce. But we managed to save the day once again. The weather hasn't improved that much. The wind has died down some, but I do expect we will have a bit of the rudder work during takeoff. Weather in Dublin is a little bit better, if I remember correctly. I checked a couple of hours ago, but we will check again en route. We expect to be flying for about 2 hours today, about 30 minutes to our cruise, 1 hour in cruise, and about 30 minutes on our descent and approach. We have about, let's check here our flight plan. It hasn't updated, so what we'll do this, and there we go. We have quite a full flight today, about 150, 160 passengers, 154 I think. And we will need to refuel as well, as we will need a bit more fuel for our 2-hour flight to Dublin. I'm quite excited to go and to see how the sim behaves, how the frames will react once we hit Orbx Great Britain and go on to Dublin, where we have Orbx, where we have Author for XP, zoom level 17, 18 and 19 for the airport, and Aerosoft scenery. But with no further ado, let's go ahead and set up our flight. So we are currently sitting in Copenhagen. And go here, and we're going to Dublin. I have also just updated my Navigraph to the latest AIRSHUTTLE, so we should be golden there. And our flight number today is 3606. Before we go on, let's just check and set up here. We have zero fuel weight of 58.1, and we will bring with us 10 tons of fuel. So 58.1 and 10. There we go, all said and done, and that puts us at an even 69 kilos, 68.1, sorry. Perfect. Okay. Our reserves are 2.7, and our alternate is Manchester. And we will also be keenly aware of our position once we are over the North Sea, which we will be crossing, where we are quite far away from the nearest airport at some point, so we will need to keep an eye on that in case anything should arise. If you're new to the channel, you will know that I always fly on VATSIM, and I always fly with failures enabled, and also remove flying surfaces with G-forces. I can't remember what they call it, but it's a feature where the aircraft is more real, so I can't just have a landing rate of 1,500 feet, and I cannot fly with flaps out 300 knots. So we will need to be careful, and we will need to do things correctly. Okay, where were we? Yeah, our route. Here we go. We're departing from 22 right, which is real world traffic departure at the moment, to Odin 1 Charlie. Here we have Odin 1 Charlie. And from Odin we will go to P60 Amram. From Amram to Lima 983 to SAP. Uniform Mike 89 is our routing. We'll take it to Tango Romeo November. And direct to Blacka. And from Blacka direct to Nelbo. And direct to Naimat. There we go. And Naimat 1 kilo on 28. Check for discontinuities. There are none, looking very good. So let's just activate this and go to performance. .7, and let's cross check that. And that is correct. We could actually put in 2.8 to be even more careful. We will do that, nothing wrong in that. We have the fuel. So and we might as well just pop it onto here. Cost index will be 30. And we will be cruising at 36,000 feet. Top of climb, winds 243, 25, 243, 25. And temperature +8. There we go. Looking good. Okay. So we can execute this. And we will get 24k the rate today. 17 degrees outside and rain, so it will be a wet takeoff. Or yeah. It has stopped raining, but we will put it in there for now. $24.9k and put it with 134, 142, 149. There we go. And start at 5 units. That is verified and looking good. Okay, so what we'll do is check our routing. But before we do that, let's start our boarding. Set. Go. And we will also there we go. And we will ask these kind gentlemen who are helping us getting ready and loaded up to bugger off, because they are done. Okay, let's go over our routes, shall we? And we can put you in there as well. Just straight across Denmark, straight across Billund Airport, and then over the North Sea, where we have a forest of points, so we might just clean that up a little if we don't get any ATC to do it for us. And we'll turn down the coast after we have crossed UK to Blackar. And get ourselves into a nice long approach into runway 28 in Dublin. Looks very good. So we can remove this. You're supposed to have the legs page. And we can hide all of you guys. And we can also get our Swift client in to monitor any ATC and to monitor other traffic. So let's just check here. Already done from the last flight. So the weather, if I remember correctly, we do have some cloudy, low clouds, no high clouds over Denmark, and we might have a little bit of cumulonimbus and thunderclouds here and there in the beginning of our North Sea crossing, but then it should clear up and cloud up again as we come towards the UK. So might not be seeing much today, but it will be an enjoyable flight. I do sometimes actually enjoy those 2-3 hour flights where you have time to really settle in and don't stress things. So we got you set up, let's get our charts out. We're at 17 feet, so we will need to get you to a 1017. Boom. There we go. Let's get the latest.
Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel Airport Information Alpha 1620 Zulu weather wind 195 at 12 visibility 10,000 sky condition ceiling 1400 overcast temperature 17 dew point 15 QNH 1008 advice on initial contact you have information Alpha.
So 1008 set.
Echo
Taxi routings and our airport chart and our departure, which was Odin 1 Charlie. It was Tor on the last flight. Odin 1 Charlie. There we go. Boom. Initial climb clearance, flight level 7000. And our routing climb on extended runway centerline to DME 20 CAS or 1500, whichever is later. And then straight to double. And we have CAS and have CAS here. And we will check this here. And on our routing we will be going to the route out, which is here, 15 or above, and then to double. So we'll pop you in here. And that cannot be correct, so let's just... must be 217. Double 263. Something is a bit off here on the... So after double is 263. So it should be a bit higher, so it should be around here. It does not come out on the chart, so... At least we have it set now at 273, and runway centerline is 217 -1 for Xplane deviation. 216 is set, and we will set 263 for Odin. And we will tune. There we go. All set and ready to go. And still no ATC by the looks of it. And no messages either on the Unicom. So let's get back to do our taxi briefing. So we are sitting at stand, can't remember the stand number. We are sitting here. So we will basically push back, go straight to Alpha, cross runway 30, follow Alpha, go on to Alpha 1 and then take off. And we will then climb straight ahead on runway heading to 1500 or 2 demi from Kastrup, and I think we'll hit 1500 before that, might not, we'll see. Then we'll turn right on onto double and follow double onto Odin, which we can tune as well. And switch to Odense. Actually, that's on fee. So we have that ready. Nothing to worry about. Threats. A lot of traffic. We do not have much terrain going on. We do have the Öresund bridge, which will be behind us. In case of any issues, we will turn left over the Öresund and go back right for a landing on runway 2 to left. I think it was, yes, 2 to left. Okay, so that's our briefing done. And let's get, we have fuel here. APU is currently off. We do have fuel in the center tank, so we will fire up everything. And while the APU is lighting up, we will just do a check. Working. That's good. There we go. Send button is working. Let's reset. Lights test. Good. And we can do our takeoff configuration. So good. Working. And we did do a fire cargo test, so we'll do our TCAS test.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust.
Zero.
Climb now. Climb now. Climb, crossing, climb. Climb, crossing, climb. Clear of conflict. Descend, crossing, descend, crossing, descend now. Descend now. Increase climb. Increase descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain vertical speed. Crossing. Maintain. Monitor vertical speed. TCAS test. Pass.
And we got our lights on already. That's good. And we can put on the APU. Here we go. I don't know why it does that from time to time, but it does. So we are on the APU. We can disconnect the ground power. And we can do our first part of the checklist. Pre-flight oxygen tested. Navigation transfer and display switches are normal and auto. Yep. Window heat is on. Pressurization mode selected. We missed that one. We're going at 36, not 37. So that is why we have our checklist. And we will revisit our landing altitude once in cruise. Flight instruments, heading and altimeter. I have heading 278, 278. And I have 20 feet and 20 feet crossed and checked. Parking brake is set and engine start levels are set to cut off. That is very good. Okay. So while we go with our next checklist, we will request our pushback. The ground guys already know
ground to
where we're
cockpit.
going.
Tow is driving up.
Before start checklist, flight doors are closed and locked. They are not. So we will pop you on. There we go. Here we go. All doors are closed and locked. Fuel pumps. We have 9.9 tons and all pumps are on. Passenger signs are on. Windows are locked. MCP we have V2 149, 1216. And 7,100 set. CDO pre-flight completed. Rod and aileron trim. We checked that. That was 3 and 0. Takeoff and taxi briefing we have completed. And answer.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
So we are ready to rumble. Let's check here. Lock you up again. It's off, very good. Good temperature. ports. So set. Masters set. Looking good.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
And release parking brake. And you may start pushback.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Starting number 2. I don't think... Yeah, we have a SAS... as a Scandinavian standing there. A319 by the looks of it. But we should be pushing clear of him, so no problems at all. Some fuel in. Do we clear him? Yeah, I think we do. Okay, starting number 1. Fuel there. Yeah, we're well clear. Perfect. And if we hit him, it's not our fault because we are where we are supposed to be on the line. Perfect. Start a cutout, so. And generator can come off.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake. Full forward.
Disconnecting
full
tow.
back.
Stand by.
Full left. Full right. Center. And the rudder, which we had a good use for on our last landing. Looks good. Everything is looking really, really good. Okay. And set it to alt off. And let's have our before taxi checklist. Generators are on, probe heat is on, engine anti-ice off, isolation valve is auto, engine start switches are continuous, recall is checked, auto brake RTO, engine start levers idle D10, flight controls checked.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Ground equipment is clearing and we are setting takeoff flaps 5. Now we do have tab 17. I do not think we will require any engine anti-ice because these clouds are not that high reaching. And there we have our bypass pin. Thank you very much and goodbye. So just on to Alpha. Just making sure we are on apron north. So we should have Alpha straight ahead. And a bit too much. There we go. And I will take the weather radar and you will take the terrain. Just try and adjust my seat. Oh, definitely don't need my seat back. So here we go. So I think actually we will end up on, yeah, that's Alpha, so we will turn here. See those low clouds? There's the Öresund Bridge. It's a freeware. Can't remember the guy who made it, but it's really awesome. And if you are from Denmark or familiar with Copenhagen, you will really appreciate that bridge, because being here is not the same as without it. There's the wind, we have it fairly well down the runway by the looks of it. And we are about to cross runway 30, looking clear and good. Don't see any traffic around us.
Approaching 1, 2.
So 1, 2 from that direction, 30 from this direction. It's a very rarely used runway. Has to be extreme conditions. So the configuration with which we're landing and taking off today is by far the most used one here in Copenhagen. There we go. And let's get the lights on. Let's imagine we are cleared for takeoff. And short final looks clear.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Before takeoff checklist, flaps 5 green lights, stabilizer trim
Approaching
5.1
2,
and
2, right.
transponder.
Traffic. Clear of conflict.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that sometimes. Definitely no traffic here.
On runway 2, 2, right.
Unless we have some somebody underground, which can happen on that. Okay, get on our departure chart. 1500 or 2 CAS. Start the timer and set 40%. There we go. Set takeoff thrust, looking for 94.2, and we need some rudder, I think. Have to keep an eye on the center line. And we have 94.2 indications normal.
80 knots.
Light right rudder to keep the center line.
E1. Rotate.
Rotating.
Positive rate.
And we can take the gear up. Checked. Keep an eye on altitude and DME.
1000.
Checked. Closing in on the clouds. There's the clouds. Buck up. So flaps 1. And we can start our turn. And we are out of the soup. And we can set weave on and Command A. Perfect. And not much to be seen here. Clean up. I would like it to be like, you know, you can pull it, but you can't. So forgot to. We have been blown a bit off course, and we do have some weather actually, but we should be above it. So let's just get our checklist out. Engine bleeds on, packs auto, landing gear is up and off, and no flaps, no lights. After takeoff checklist completed, and I think we have cleared the cabin and cleared ourselves
1,000 to go.
to flight level 250. I wasn't that far off actually. And the weather disappeared by the looks of it, so won't have to deal too much with that. Still at 11 degrees Celsius outside, so it's good. Do get a little lag from the clouds, but it's a different type of lag, so let's track Odense. Turn you off, and let's go like this. Nice clean takeoff there. Nothing to write home about, I think. Passing 10,000, so we can come off. Pressurizing. Looking good. Accelerating nicely. Indications looking good. And we're well on track. Let's get just for kicks. The middle of Sjælland, and we are tracking Odense. There are some weather showing up here, but not much to see today. What we can do, just because we are curious, we can get out that's a map. Here we have the guy who the Airbus. Wonder where he's headed. To make the window big. There we go. To Stockholm. Classic route that we did yesterday. And here we are. scooting along. There we have the other guy. Maybe he gave us the traffic. He must have been right behind us. So there is a distinct possibility that the TCAS warning we got were correct. Because yeah, he must have been right behind us. Wonder why we didn't see him. It's actually company traffic, Norwegian company. So if he has maybe, I don't know, flight simulator or FSX or P3D or some other scenery, he might have been hidden underground, for all we know. He is heading for Manchester, I think. No, London. And we have a KLM out here for Amsterdam. But not a soul elsewhere. British Airways over the North Sea. And I do hope that we got... I was looking at the routes to take today, or tonight. I wanted to take a route with the best chances of some ATC. And I did notice that the last couple of days Dublin and Ireland have been quite active if you need to go somewhere that is not Heathrow or Manchester. So I thought crossing Great Britain but not landing in Great Britain would be a good test for our FPS, so we don't risk ending up with FPS 4 on short final to Manchester with ATC would be not good. So instead we'll just cross over and see what the sim says while crossing over Orbex, Great Britain, and go into Dublin, which is quite a nice airport. I really like flying to Ireland. And since the HSC has been so active, I thought it's a good bet. And they were active up until not too long ago. So see, there's Manchester and London always on, but still dead in our. So the route we will be taking today is straight over Denmark. Now tracking Odense. And yeah, that must be our buddy here heading to London. So we'll basically fly straight over Denmark. Then we will head over the North Sea to Edinburgh. And from Edinburgh we will turn southbound over the Irish Sea. Like so. Yeah. So let's do this, and let's imagine that we take our mic here and say, ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this Norwegian flight today from Copenhagen to Dublin in Ireland. We expect to have a flight time for around 2 hours and expect a fairly calm flight. We have now released the seatbelt sign, so you are free to move about in the cabin and go and use the restrooms if so need be. We will keep you updated during the flight as we go along if anything should change, but for the time being we look to be on time and look to have ourselves a nice calm evening flight. We would like to thank you for flying with Norwegian, and we'll be in touch with you. Bye. Not too bad. PAs is an art. So let's have a look at the weather. So yeah, we do have actually some weather here. We'll just be sniffing it because our routing will take us here. So I bet you that's what we see here. And we might encounter some of this here if it blows up in our route. We will go over Billon. This should be here. Yep. So our route will take us over here. And should be clearing us of the worst, I think. And then over North Sea looks okay. To Edinburgh, clear. Irish Sea looks fine. And to Dublin. And not too windy either, actually. Looks quite nice for Ireland. So, but if we had chosen to go to Germany or I was considering Geneva actually. We would be passing a lot of weather on the way. But with my luck, there's no ATC as always, and we'll be self-vectoring most of the time. But it's a 2-hour flight, and the evening has just begun, so there's still hope and a good chance that we will get some controllers logging on. Or we'll declare an emergency and land in Manchester just to get the ATC. So here we go. Boom. And we can kick off our shoes and relax now. We're up in nearing our cruise and things are looking fine. So one thing I will do though, I will turn off this glare effect, which I do not like for VR. VR does something to things, so some things work quite well and other things just get messed up, like the starry nights. If you are flying in VR and you have a problem with the brightness of the stars at night, there's a simple line of code that you can get from the forums. So you just insert that into the sim. There's a guide and everything. It's quite easy. And you will reduce the light intensity about 10,000 times, I think, and that will give you a more adequate night lighting from the stars, because the stars in vanilla Xplane VR looks like 747s on approach, so not too realistic. And we're having the sun in our face the entire time, so if we were flying in real life we would definitely be wearing sunglasses and having our sun visor mounted up here. And then I do think, I haven't actually gotten an explanation about it, but I do think Xplane inserts these ghost planes with the ghost contrails, like the ones you see over there, from time to time. Because it would look like an aircraft heading in basically our direction, but then it's gone. But there is no traffic. We should have gone to Stockholm again. They have full ATC. Oh god. But no, I want to hang over the sea for an hour, chatting to you guys. So if you're curious on trying, if you don't have VR yet, I have been thinking about making a short video about it. There are a lot of opinions about flying in VR, and for me there was no doubt, and I tried it and it was even better than I had imagined it would be. And then came along the Rift S. I had the CV1 before, and things got even sharper and even better and crisper, and there's no way I will fly 2D. I would rather do something else. For me, it is the sim. It is the game, and it cannot be played without VR. But that is my personal opinion and my preference, and I have full respect and full understanding for the guys flying in 2D and for the guys who don't like VR. But my opinion is that it gives you so much more immersion. You are sitting physically in the cockpit. The distance to knobs and things and whatnot are correct. The size, your perspective when looking at things, the size of things is correct. Yes, you do have some things you have to give away or give up in order to get this, but for me it's well worth it. It's well worth it not having the ability to take screenshots and show them to my friends or post them on Facebook, because the screenshots look basically realistic. You cannot really do that in VR. You can get close, but you cannot make these super realistic screenshots. Yeah, so weather updates, let's just have... Oh, didn't catch Denmark. So you will lose the much of the realistic looks, so to speak, but still it looks darn realistic, I must say. That's number one. And number two, some people say, yeah, but you'll be struggling with the frames all the time. I tell you, I did fly in 2D before, and I was struggling with frames, but on another level, because you just want more, right? So you'll just be pushing the envelope even higher, and then you will be ending up in frames issues, and you will never be satisfied. So at the end of the day, the result is the same, that you're never really 110% satisfied. It will always be tweaked a little bit better. So why not do it in VR? And I'm running quite a lot of plugins and libraries and overlays and what have you not. On top of this, I have turned off a few things, but not much. And still, as long as I can keep what I have now, 20 FPS, for me it looks real and it is fluent. There's no real jittering. I do get lag spikes, as you see now and then. There's a little pause as things get loaded into the sim, and for some it's immersion breaking, that they have to wait 5 seconds now and then. For me it's not. For me it's totally worth it. But of course I will never give up hunting the completely fluent flight in to every destination I wish. And I think we'll get there someday, maybe with Vulcan, because I'm not far off. I just need maybe 10% more to do it. I'm very close. If I were using the Vivid preset, there it is again, that streak. If I were using the full Vivid preset, X-Vision Vivid preset, I would be getting a little bit worse frames. Maybe I would get bit better visuals, but what I have noticed is that with the X-Vision and Vivid preset, overcast conditions like these are not fully closed. It's not like this, and this is overcast, ladies and gentlemen. There's snow holes all over the place. It's a carpet of clouds. At least in Denmark it is. And as late as last week I was flying in real life in overcast conditions like this, and this is what it looks like, and this is default Xplane. So I have for now reverted back to the default. I will still give the Vivid preset a try, but it needs some tinkering, and tinkering takes time, and it's time I could be spent flying, right? So I would rather be sitting where I'm sitting now than be spending hours restarting and closing down and restarting Xplane and testing and tweaking and never get some real flying done. But that again is my personal opinion. But if you are considering VR, you might have some concerns. So it's quite normal. The first concern would be, can my rig take it? And that's a question with 1,000 answers, but every rig is different. Even if you put together most the same components, you would have some discrepancies. But there are lots of threads and videos out there. I think with a 1080 Ti and a processor that could get you over 4.5 Hertz, then you have 4.5 gigahertz, then you will have no problems. And technology just gets better and rigs get better, so you would be looking at something like that. And then you should start off with default Xplane and then build your way up with plugins and add-on. And I'm speaking from hard-learned mistakes. Add one thing at a time. Add one plugin or one library or one add-on or one overlay. Do a flight in it. See how the sim reacts. If it reacts positively, okay, you can move on to the next. If you add 10 or 11 add-ons and plugins and what have you not, which you can very easily do once you spend a day on the forums and find stuff, and you go into the sim and it's bugging up or lagging, then you have a lot of work to do to find out which the culprit is and how to fix it. So start out with the default Xplane, and it's looking quite nice. The skies here is default Xplane, and the weather is injected from active sky, but it is default Xplane clouds, and there are no presets set for now. So that would be the first thing, and next thing people worry about is dizziness and how long can I wear these goggles, are they comfortable? I've tried the CV1 and now the Oculus Rift S, and I have had no issues whatsoever. They are super comfy. I do have my rig in my basement. I placed it in my guest bedroom in the basement of my house, because there I have a stable, cool temperature even in the hot summers. So that's the most important thing. Do not get warm, because then you will start sweating, and sweat will fog up the VR headset. So if you can find a cool place or somewhere to keep yourself cool while wearing it, then you will be quite comfortable. And as long as you're not flying loop-de-loops or doing barrel rolls, you will not get any dizziness. You will actually get a sensation of movement as the aircraft turns or moves. It tricks your mind, okay, because the sensation of movement is actually twofold. There's the physical movement of your body, like so, that tells your body that now I am moving, and then there is the sensation that you have in your skull, in your brain somewhere, that you're moving, and you get that sensation. It's quite unique and interesting. And a thing I found, not that I'm trying to convince you to try it, but I tried it out by accident. Let me just update here so you don't have all this. So you don't have all these points here. So the interesting thing I tried was I was having a few drinks one night with my girlfriend, and I didn't get drunk. I just got, buzzed, tipsy, what do you call it? And then I decided, hey, I want to go for a flight, of course. And the sensation of movement, even though you're sitting still, were stronger than normal. So maybe that does something to your head. So if you can't, if you don't have money for a direction of flight rig, that's a rig that moves with the plane, then buy a 6-pack, much cheaper. That's my advice. And there's no alcohol limit in the sim. But yeah, the headset is quite comfortable. I have flown Europe around it. In it, I have had I think the longest flight days. I've been wearing it for 8 or 9 hours in a row. I'm quite sure it is unhealthy and not something that should be done. but it went fine. No headaches, no eye strain. The only drawback was that afterwards I had to go to the store to do some shopping, and I looked like I had been scuba diving all day, because you have this mask mark around your head that takes an hour or so to dissipate. But I felt quite comfortable, and funny thing, the longer you stay in VR, the more immersed you get, the more you forget that you're in a simulated reality. And I must admit that I'm sometimes disappointed when I land in the Alps or on Palma de Mallorca or wherever, or Corfu, and then I'm not there. I cannot just go down to the beach and take a swim. So that's immersion for you. So yeah, if you have the opportunity, if you have the rig that can run it, then also VR headsets. The Oculus Rift is tried and tested. There are many out there. It's tried and tested. Many people use it and are happy with it, and the controllers feel really natural to hold and use. And there are plenty of second-hand headsets to be had. So if you have the money and if you have the rig that can run it 110%, I would recommend you try it. So most people will not go back. I do know a few people who are skeptic, who have tried it and say it's not for me. But then again, there are 1,000, if not more, reasons why people fly the sim, and we all have different things about the sim that we find interesting, and there's no right or wrong. For some people, they could fly it looking on the mobile phone because for them it's about getting some things right here, and they don't need this all the looks. And for others, it's for eye candy, and yeah, for me it's just interesting. I don't know. I have no way to put words on it. I like it in the sim, and I like challenges that come suddenly and are unexpected, and no flight is really the same. And I like the immersion, and I like the feeling of sitting here and looking out and just dreaming away. And I have been inspired to go to places actually that, because I have been there in the sim, and oh, that looks so nice, I would like to go there someday, and grab my girlfriend and we've gone there. So if you have the opportunity, go for VR. You will get some unique experiences. You will have some wow moments where you're sitting in the cockpit on approach, and you just get the perfect view of the clouds, and everything is perfect, and the landscape or the authors are perfect, and you just wow. I wish I had someone, a friend or a loved one beside me, so we could point out and say, hey, look at that. So maybe that's the biggest drawback, that it's really hard to do. I wish I could plug in a second VR headset and then place someone beside me and we could fly in the same sim. I do know you have shared cockpit and everything, but it's still quite complex to set up and expensive. But who knows, in the future things only will get better, and VR is only just starting to really gain some momentum. So yeah, so let's look here. Woo, yeah, Dublin is online. Love it. So we have Dublin approach. John Coughlin. John Coughlin, I salute you and I thank you for your service, and I hope you will stay on for a couple of hours, because we are coming. Maybe I should speed up. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we could get even more? That would be nice. I should have gone to Stockholm today, darn it. Oh well. So here we are, cruising along. Have no idea why I am sat on the Australian server, because that is 100% wrong, but I am on the Swedish server. Anyway, we are cruising along. We have a British Airways coming from Oslo. no immediate traffic that would cross into our... I do like this new fantastic map. It looks promising. Much easier to use in VR. You don't have to find on the old map. You have to be precise on the letters and won't really show you the frequencies. Here I can just boom, get approach, boom, I get even more information, and the frequencies are nice and clear, and I get a lot of good information about the people around me, like this Jonathan Lyons, hope you're watching, on his way to Cork. So yeah, well, enough rambling about VR. If you have questions or anything you're wondering about, just post them in the comment section and I will get back to you. Our fuel tank is empty, so we can top you off. There we go. Minutes into the flight, and we still got 1.5 hours to go. 531 nautical miles. Let's get Dublin charts out. We are So that's set. I just need to do a sneak peek on my mobile phone here. So I'll just do this. And nothing new. I do have a gaming date with some friends later on. Playing some Red Dead Redemption online. Nice way to stay in touch with old friends, so even though you're an adult you don't have to stop playing. There's quite a bright light on the ocean. I think that's the ocean we see, so it seems like the clouds are letting up a little. Let's just cross check that with. And we can actually put in clouds here. Yeah, so we are in this field here of clearing from weather. I do think actually the X-Vision preset did widen. Maybe it did widen it a bit too much. The field of how wide the sun glares into the water. It does look a bit unnatural, right? So I would actually prefer it if there wasn't any at all, just some glittering. Because that is looking a bit wrong, but that's fixable. So there you see, new thing to tweak, so you're always tweaking. That's Xplane, FSX, P3D, whatever. Every sim is a tweaking job, there's no getting around it. There's that darn UFO again. What is that? I'll tell you what it is. It's a Soviet nuclear-driven missile. Top secret. Oh, and the SIBO group. Nothing new there. People having problems, as always. It is a quite good group, so if you're using the SIBO mod then on Facebook, then I recommend using this group. Nothing more to be said about that. Let's just have a look here. Oh, we're just missing the British Airways heading for Heathrow. So we will miss him, but he will have us on his TCAS, no doubt. As he will cross us on his way down here. So one thing we should be looking for and be wary about is our position in case of any very serious problems like engine failures, or not that it would happen, but let's assume the worst. Let's assume that we have a fuel leak and we lose both engines for some reason, and we had to get into our airport very quickly. We would currently be turning around and going to Billund, but at some point around here we will be looking for Sunderland. So what we can do, so we have Billund here and we will have Sunderland somewhere here. I did choose quite a boring route, didn't I? So all we have is this bright light into the ocean, and well, nothing else. Tell you what we do. We will be cheering for Mr. John Coughlin to stay online. Actually, we will even already be tuning him in here, and we will also be checking for any ATIS in Dublin. There we go. Dublin, Manchester City appears the event. 7 arrivals coming. It looks like it's an event for all night, so we might even get even more ATC coming online for Dublin. Would have the same. So what we could check here, if we can put you here, grab you. Get you on here. So we are out of range, but we can look at doesn't look booked though. Copenhagen is booked for later on. Sweden is all booked. Yeah. So when we close in, we can check for any possible ATIS frequencies, and what we will do just for kicks is that we will take a walk around in the cabin. Don't think we have had any views from there for a while. I will presume that everything goes smoothly out here, no alarms, no anything. So what we can do is open up. Complete confusion in our seating arrangements. So we'll try that again. So here we are. Looking out the window, and if I can just first class view. Oh, hi, sweetheart. So how are you doing? What I actually wish for I do have, if we all have a wish list for the sim, that it would be able to precisely put in the amount of virtual passengers as you have in your flight plan. So say I have 152 passengers on this flight, well, then we have 152 people sitting here. I know it's unnecessary, does nothing for the flight characteristics, does nothing really, but it's visuals, and it's just because I'm a geek, you know. It's the geeky thing, it's more immersion. And what I also wish for is an app that could wish for an app that could make the cabin to cockpit interaction even more interesting, so that just as you could get a failure, technical failure, you could get a call suddenly from the cabin that we have a sick passenger and we need to get to the hospital as soon as possible, so we would have to divert. That would be interesting. And more sounds from the cabin, like applause or screams. What more? That you could interact more with the cabin crew somehow. I don't know. Maybe connect the mic so that you could do the PAs with a sort of, you know, a mic codec sound. I did have some ideas, and I even thought I wrote them down. And that you could have the passengers basically rate your flight. If you have a lot of turbulence, you will also have like screaming, and you could have cabin crew coming asking questions along the way. How long? Passengers are wondering how long it takes, or how much time is left, or so on, you know. Stuff like that, but especially the risk for diversion. That you would risk, we have a situation in the cabin, and we need to get down. So let's move down the cabin. That's a bit bad seating. Actually, it's because you have bad leg room. Actually, I'll take a screenshot. Go. Screenshot. Yeah, no need to take a screenshot here. So, and also movable. That's a nice angle, isn't it? Or I can't even get my, because I have my wall here. Okay, I don't think I should be pushing the button. That's actually the emergency exit, so we won't do anything. Take a screenshot here as well. There. Yeah, we can't get any further back into seating. I would like some seatings in the back though. So here we are in the aft pantry. Nothing much to see here, so let's see if I can't do a cheat sheet. No. quite hard to do that. So just I'm as tall as a 8-year-old girl because I'm seated. So very calm flight actually. But maybe I should be getting back into the flight deck. There's a jump seat. I actually hit that pretty well. That's the first time for me. So a jump seat look. Just hide you here. There we are, almost midway across the North Sea. Nothing to report on the weather radar. We have turned, let's see, still turning, correcting a bit. So I should be getting on the heading select and keeping that up to date actually. Would be the responsible things to do. And I'll just correct my seat back. There we are, so I can push it back. And we are on 66. And we need to close the door actually. Pretty dangerous to open it. So nothing new here. And 450 nautical miles and 300 miles more, give or take, to top of descent in about 40 minutes. So we could check the weather and we could give a PA. That's what we could do, and once we're done with that we could start looking at our Dublin charts. Getting ready. So we don't funk up the approach there. Oops. Yeah. Had I just waited 1 hour, I would have had ATC all the way until more or less now. God darn it. Yeah. Well, nothing to do about that. Just my luck. But we still have John Coglan and we are counting on him. So you could basically fly, it would have been a really nice flight to Stockholm, full ATC. Darn it. So let's have a look at the weather. Go. We have 113. We can just pop that in just so that it's done. So that's standard, and we can also do this. Click, and then we should get not much wind to worry about. A bit cloudy. But dry. No, looks like no change will come in. actually what might happen. It is a crosswind for runway 28. So they could be giving us... Let's just check. So we could be prepared. It's clearing up. Arrival. Oh. 9 kilo. Approach. Let's get the airport. So what they could do is actually give us runway 16 with this wind. That would be more sensible. So let's just check out after this return to 272. Let's just check out the real world traffic. We're at Dublin. Looks like he's coming in right now. Coming in and taking off from 28, by the looks of it. So he's coming in to land, and I bet you that these two are waiting to take off after he has landed and vacated, and he just took off. So in real world it's still runway 28 favor despite the wind. So we will bet on John Coughlin will abide to the real world procedures. And now Germany is on that. I should have taken Geneva, shouldn't I? Or maybe Frankfurt. You would have you could have ATC all the way from Stockholm to Frankfurt. Come on, England, Scotland. Yeah. So let's start tuning stuff. So we can put in close you down. I'm gonna shut you down. We'll find ourselves here on our way to Edinburgh, which we can tune. Or we can tune Glasgow, yes. I'll begin to see GMT. We'll just focus on Dublin. 1149. There you go. And 11 keep this up just in case we need it. Basically we'll go straight into St. Abbs 1250. We can just put him in here just to have a look on how far we're off the coast. 127 off the coast of England. Or Scotland, sorry. Sorry if I offended any Scottish. So I bet you we would be in what is Scottish control now. If they could just come online, it would be fantastic. I think they were online last night, actually. And there is a lot of traffic, especially in Edinburgh. Might even get someone on a TCAS. KLM. Good temperature in the cabin. I bet you that sun would be roasting you in real life. So 279. And then we had to bit of lag. That's the lag I was talking about. We still have our secret UFO thingy out here. It's 279. It's runway heading. And missed approach. Turn right. Basically cancel the runway heading and then go out, presumably for lap mode for a new approach. So 3,000 feet. We have terrain to our right and our minimums are 402. We will need to fix that straight away, and we can do that by clicking here. Then only then when you have it on the screen does your VR mouse work, and we were at 402, so we will get that down here. Two, set, away we go with the VR mouse and Xplane. So getting closer to Edinburgh, getting closer to Great Britain, or what's left of it. It's not going to tear themselves apart with the Brexit. And we won't be doing anything really interesting before Edinburgh. Just too bad about the water. I would like to see some glimmer or shimmer or something instead of just, it's like a big, it's like somebody's holding a big flashlight or light bulb, basically. I do think actually the size of the sun is a bit small, just a wee bit. I think this is more what the size would be like on Mars. Okay, so we're going to NIMAT. A little shaky there. And ladies and gentlemen from the cockpit, we are currently halfway through our flight today to Dublin, approaching Edinburgh. The weather in Dublin is for the time being a bit cloudy, but still dry, and temperatures at around 19 degrees, so quite nice late summer's evening for Dublin, Ireland. I hope you are enjoying your flight, and would like once again to thank you for flying with Norwegian. Though I forgot to mention the cruising altitude and the outside temperature. In addition, we can mention that we are cruising along at 36,000 feet. That approximates to about 11,000 meters over the sea. Temperature outside is currently minus 30 degrees. Need to practice. There should be like you have a landing rate calculator. I need a parking rate that measures how precisely you are on your taxi lines calculator, and we need a PA rate calculator, something like that. Stuff you must remember to put in the PAs. So we are about here, I guess. We're seeing a bit more clouds, and then we should have a nice view over England, actually, or Scotland. So we will really get to test our frames. We are at now we're over the sea, so we are. Of course, the clouds do give us some performance drops, but we are in the upper 30s, and should be interesting to see what happens when we hit orbits for XP. Great Britain, which we can begin to see glimpses of. Here we are closing in. And I assume that we will drop down to 20 or high teens soon in the frames per second. So while we're waiting for that, let's just revisit our approach. We'll go to NIMAT at flight level 120, max 250 below 10, we're well below that. We'll have a hard break around here, 20 miles to drop that, but and we will do a cut-off. We will do a right turn onto Lapmo. Let's see. Lapmo is not on the map. Okay, up to Lapmo, which is here. What are you doing? Did we have a wind change, perhaps? There we go. Just dropped some altitude there and a little bit of speed. But it's picking back up. Wouldn't it be cool if you had like on VATSIM? I was telling about the passenger plugin you could have on VATSIM, then suddenly you would have to call up Manchester and ask for landing there because you had a drunk and disorderly passenger on board, or you had some asthmatic attack. I know that you're not supposed to simulate emergencies and stuff like that on VATSIM, and I can also understand, because it is not something that you play. It's serious things when emergencies does happen, but it's all part of the experience. And one thing is simulating real world crashes and events on VATSIM. I can totally understand that they don't want that. It would make it an action place instead of realism place. But that controlled by this plugin, that I don't know, on a randomizer like 1 in 100, or it could be whatever, because you do this, get that quite often in the real world, that you will have to divert or possibly land somewhere. And of course the plug-in, you could have the cabin crew come and say that they're worried about a passenger need to get to the hospital, and you would start as a flight crew, you would start to look around for a good place to go and contact the controllers there. And then of course you could have them come back and say things are better than I think we can proceed to our original destination. So that would keep you on your toes, and especially on longer flights like I'm doing now. If we had an incident like somebody drunk or some stuff like that going on, you know, you would most likely look to go to Edinburgh. But then you would be occupied with changing that, and that would just add more depth to the simulation. I do think the controllers wouldn't mind that they would be contacted now on a rare occasion by an aircraft passing over, then they have to land. Would be no problem. Would be no problem for me now to go to Manchester instead, which I won't. But yeah, food for thought. Maybe I need to. What did I do now? Oh no! Oh dear. So why don't I use Firefox or Chrome? Well, I have been told by wise men that they can steal FPS, so I don't use it. There we have the coast coming in nicely, and our Russian cruise missile ahead of us. And 170 nautical miles to top of descent, and we still have our good buddy John Coughlin in charge. We do have a KLM coming up here. We do have him there actually, but he is way below us. I don't know if you can see him. He is 10 miles out behind us. There is a bit delay on, so we might actually just cross straight. Yeah, so here's 29,000 feet. Frankfurt to can't make it out. He isn't ascending, he is level, so. Yeah, there we have him. Our KLM buddy. Hello KLM. The sad thing is that he's the one getting the best view. And some wake turbulence. We can bump it up some. So let's check him out. Why don't I get that message that I usually get? PHNL. Where's PHNL? He's a long hauler. Eduardo Passos, I salute you and I greet you and I wish you. See if we can get a look at him from here. Where are you, Eduardo? There we have Scotland. And sadly Eduardo is still behind us and beneath us somewhere. Can't see him. I just need to do something to reseat myself. Why did you? There we go. So here we go. Singapore to Honolulu. What the flippin'? Well, 14 hours, are you insane? Eduardo? Bon voyage. Oh my god. To Hawaii? Yeah, I wish I was coming with you as a passenger and I could sleep. Definitely not sitting in the flight deck in VR all the way. Then I would need to be live streaming, so I would have you guys entertaining me. So he's basically going, I would reckon, over northern Greenland and Canada and here. What a trip. Cool. Cool to cross skies like that now and then. So we'll be turning shortly. I will start to prepare for that. That's why he's slow as well. He is heavy as a... I don't want to say that word. But he's heavy. I'll still tell you that. Too bad we couldn't get him a bit closer so we could get a good look, a good shot of him. So we are closing in on Edinburgh, which has ground available on the ground for some reason. Here we are, Scotland. Don't know why my avatar is shaking like this when I'm looking. I think actually because where I'm seated I have more light at this side than at this side, so it gets too dark and it disturbs the tracking. But we should be getting a good view of Edinburgh. But I think it'll be hard to see anything from the fog and the sunlight. So there's our turn. 250. So now we will be heading down here towards Dumfries, Carlisle. And you know that the turning sensation I was talking about, I'm getting that now. It feels like I'm leaning. There you go, Eduardo. Hat off to you for taking such I need to try it somehow. Although my girlfriend will think I'm absolutely insane if I do it. But I have plans for the world flight, which I recommend if you have the chance to participate. I haven't tried it myself yet, and I really want to go on the VATSIM World Flight event, starting out in Sydney, and going around the world, and there'll be a lot of aircraft, and there will be a lot of ATC, and it will be much fun. It takes I think it's about a week for the whole thing, and it's about 60 flight legs or something. We'll take it from Sydney across the Pacific, North America, most of South America. We'll just skim Africa, and then we'll go into Europe, and through Russia and Kazakhstan, I think, and then through Asia, back down to Australia, Darwin, Cairns, and then to Sydney. But that also means that with my flying philosophy, which is that I fly from where I land. So for my immersion to be complete, for some reason, call me stupid and call me insane and call me whatever you want, but for my immersion to be complete, is the weather reloading? I like to think that the aircraft that I am in, and me as the pilot, or whatever you would like to call it, are where I last left off. So now I'm flying to Dublin, and I just can't then reload in Seattle and do a flight in North America, or reload in Innsbruck and do a flight to Frankfurt or whatever. I know that's what most normal sane people do, but I don't. So if I would like to go to Geneva, then I will have to fly there from Dublin. I will have to find a route, fly directly, or do some legs in between. And I don't know, it gives me some satisfaction, I think. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Are you the same, or do you think it's absolutely insane to have that attitude? But basically that means that I would have to position myself in Sydney to do the world flight, which means that I would have to fly to Sydney beforehand. The problem with the world flight this year is that I am actually I have other plans for the first weekend, when it starts off. I have plans, so I can't participate until 2-3 days after the event. So I'm considering taking the week off and trying to play catch up. That would mean a lot of Red Bull, a lot of coffee, and a lot of simming to catch up people with 3 days head start. But I think I could do it, and position myself in Sydney before, and of course filming all of it. I am also considering getting a streaming card. I have tried some streaming with mixed success. Might try it again, because my problem is that I have everything on one computer. And now we have Dublin, and of course one computer is okay for it's a powerful machine, as powerful as you can get it basically for a consumer. But still, just recording and running Project Fly. You can see here all the stuff that I'm running. I'm running SwiftLine, Active Sky, Project Fly, OBS. I have the butt kicker sim shakers, the Oculus, of course Xplane. Then I have Paint, and I'll show you what I use Paint for. That's the only solution I have found thus far. I know Avitat have a scratch pad, but that means I will have to load Avitat out and remove all my charge, and it's just a mess. So I can use this here as a scratch pad for taxi messaging. So you'll see me most likely as soon as we land in Dublin, and Mr. Coughlin will start telling me to go to Tango and uniform and stand this and that I'll be scribbling it down here, because you can only remember so much while concentrating on flying the aircraft. That's quite normal. You're not stupid for not being able to do that. So yeah. But as you see, I have a lot of stuff running. So if I were to stream as well, I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on it, but I do think streaming does take a bit extra toll on the setup. Instead of the recording, I also have the mirror tool to get the VR in the Streamlabs. So what I could do to solve that is to get a streaming card from Elgato or something. Haven't really spent much time trying to get into that. But what I could do is then basically all of the simming, or what do you call it, the image and sound would be just sent out of the PC. It will not conflict with anything, and it will be sent on to via the streaming card to a laptop, which I have, which then would run the OBS Streamlabs and then turn it into a live stream. So that's the way it could do it, and I know that that's the way other streamers are doing this to preserve their performance. So that's something I am considering, because it's of course more fun to have you guys in the chat and being able to have a conversation, and yeah. Darn it. Europe is really well covered today. You could fly to Innsbruck from Sweden or Denmark with coverage. Or yeah, I chose the wrong direction. I did consider, should I go downwards in Europe, or should I go to Great Britain, and I chose Dublin, mostly to check with the Orbex, and so far, yeah, there's a lag spike. I was just about to tell you that so far it's looking good, but lags like that I do not mind. Yeah, I do mind them when I am just about to touch down, but yeah, I have a phone call coming. It's my girlfriend. I'm sorry, sweetheart, but I'm not able to answer you right now. Send me a text message. She just wants to, she's bored at work, so she's a nurse and she has funny work hours. That's okay for me, because that means that I don't have to feel so bad about streaming. There's the message. Let's just see what she writes. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I just have to answer her. Just a second. She was just texting me. I just wanted to talk. I was bored at work. Nothing is happening. But you're probably flying, and yes, I am, my love. And I will actually send you a screenshot. So I will send her a screenshot of me flying. Okie dokie, so now we can actually see our top of descent. We are 1.5 hours into this 2-hour flight, and we are beginning to come into some a bit more busy airspace, and this is the time where it is very clever of me to try and remember my call sign, which is NORWEGIAN 3606. So we will go over Glasgow, and I think it's Glasgow. No, it's not Glasgow, it's... We're having some turbulence. We've got strong wind as well, so... But that's not much. There's the Orbex Great Britain scenery. I got all of it. And maybe it's because we're at cruising altitude that it doesn't really strain us too much. But yeah, it dropped us down to, like I predicted, 20 20 FPS, which is still fine for the Oculus Rift S, which have 80 Hz OLED lenses, which means that you can divide it down to 80, 60, 40, 20 and still have it, or decent. So I guess what we're seeing here is yeah, I'll just call it the Irish Sea, but or channel or whatever. So we'll be turning over Belfast soon. Oh, we got even more. Oh, why couldn't you come to Scotland, Matisse? But actually, I think I will be speaking only to Mr. Coughlin. Because I will be entering his airspace and I will be below 25,000 feet once I get there. So what we'll do is we'll start setting up. Let's get our flight plan and let's get our descent winds here. So we can pop that in. Forecast. Let's do 31, 20 and 10. So we have 29466. Then we have 27938. And 26225. Checked. That's all done. And we could whoop. Did I hear yeah, we tuned into something here on this channel here. No messages. So turning to 209. So let's go direct to elbow. Execute. Instead of this seaboat does that ever so often, where it overcorrects and it just becomes wobbly and unrealistic. Here we come, Dublin. Scottish Highlands below us. We should be having a small aircraft below us, but he does not have a transponder on, but he is somewhere below us. And we are 20 miles out from our top of descent. Go. Go. So we will let VNAV initiate the descent and we will monitor. Start with 25,000. Wow. So I don't see any 80s.
Good evening, on ground. This Chewy Air 874, President IFR clearance to Palma de Mallorca. We have received information Alpha, and we are in the 757-200.
So we actually do have an ATIS. Let's see. We have 124.52. It's a hassle to turn these knobs.
Conjet 875, Little Palma, Admit 1 Delta, departure runway 33, squawk 04, 04.
You have information, Golf. This is Dublin. Information, Golf. At time
Golf.
1800. Expect ILS approach. Runway 28. The new
Yes.
transition level 60. Wind 270 degrees 13 knots. Visibility 10 kilometers. Cloud few 2,800 feet. Scattered 4,500 feet. Temperature 19 dew point 12. QNH 1013. Those 6. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Golf. This is Dublin. Information, Golf. At time 18.
So we have information Golf and our QNH and runway information is correct. And we will disregard the drag requests. So we have started our descent into Dublin. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it across the North Sea. And we are closing in and coming home to John Coughlin, who will guide us into Dublin, runway 28, and hopefully we will Wilco on everything he says, and it will go fabulously. So we have Dublin tuned, and we have tuned the ILS. We can just pop him in and reconfirm. That is correct. That is correct as well. And we are dropping out of the sky 3,000 feet per minute, trying to hit 25,000 at Nelbo. And we can expect to taxi via Sierra, and then we will just get our parking stands as well. Hope you're kind to us, John Coughlin. I will definitely lead my scratch pad. So we will be landing on runway 28 and expect a long taxi. And I did manage to close the airport map. Just monitor the speed, yeah, looking good. So we will be doing Sierra 4 Sierra 5, then we'll most likely be given Sierra and Alpha, and then to a stand somewhere in here. And we are flying the Alpha Romeo Sierra around. NIMAC 1K, sorry. NIMAC 1 kilo arrival. Go down to 20,000. I will check on Mr. Coughlin. Should be entering his airspace quite shortly. Hopefully it will go fabulously and no lag and no crosswinds and nothing to worry about. North Shuttle 3606. And we best get seated correctly. Yeah, that will do us fine. Fasten the seatbelt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We are currently on our approach into Dublin. We have turned on the seatbelt signs and would like you to be seated for the remainder of the flight. We'd like to thank you for flying with Norwegian and hope to see you on board soon again. So we have the 80s. And we have to approach John Coughlin. We are descending nicely on profile. And should we just contact him now? We are a bit out of his airspace, but I think he would love to control us in.
1,000 to go.
Just give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room. There we go. Hopefully we have good sound quality. Dublin approach, North Shuttle 3606, passing flight level 190 inbound NIMAD. Currently sitting with information Golf and are expecting ILS approach runway 28.
North Shuttle 3606, Dublin approach, good evening, squawk 6665.
Please reconfirm squawk 6648, North Shuttle 3006.
Squawk 6665.
6665, North Shuttle 3606.
North Shuttle 3606. No. North Shuttle 3606, 9 Mach 1 Lima arrival, landing runway 28, descend flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80 and NIMAD 1 Lima arrival, North Shuttle 3606.
From squawk 6665.
Oh my god, I'm going to put my taxi directions and I already messed this up. So we are inbound. So can we correct Lima 1 Lima? There we go. Insert it. And we will need different approach chart, and we will give a damn in that for now. That would be our FO's assignment.
Runner T12 Echo passing platform 50 inbound Arkham, we have information. Hotel. Runner 22 Alpha Echo on approach, leaving confirmed squawk 0375.
Just so I don't mess it up. Have a long call sign today.
Squawk 0375, Runner T12 Echo. Runner 2 Alpha Echo identified on the squawk, Avenue 1 Lima, arrival landing 280, San over 70.
Oops.
As well, New York 280, San over 70, Runner T12 Echo.
Landing altitude is set. We will need to get our reverse in. And we'll flap 30 landing.
Shamrock 25 Alpha with you passing flight level 15.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, Dublin approach, good evening, confirmed squawk 4455.
Squawk is 4455, Shamrock 25 Alpha.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, thanks, identified on the squawk. R31 Lima, arrival landing runway 280, stand 1270.
I'm wondering if he will let us. I will just keep it on till we get at least TAD 1, TAD 11 or TAD 12, because I don't trust Xplane.
National 3606, descend to altitude 5,000 feet, Dublin QNH 1013.
When ready, descend, please repeat altitude and QNH 1013, North Shuttle 3606.
Yeah, North Shuttle 3606, I sent it on text, check your chat box, descend 5,000 feet now, QNH 1013.
Descend 5,000 feet now, North Shuttle 3606. I think he will, and we will check our chat box. It's a good thing he uses it, because it does save some time. So there is
good evening, John Ryan, 605 Bravo, and 125 738.
And we do have a little lag. We are down to 15 FPS.
605 Bravo, Dublin Beacon, clear to Manchester, lifting 5 Alpha, departure runway 28. Should climb level 90, squawk 6623.
We're at TAD 13. Should
Clear to Manchester, lifting 5 Alpha, departure 28. And it's climb level 90, squawk 6623. Right.
Cabin crew, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
605 Bravo, back correct report ready, confirmation. Hotel QNH 1013.
Hotel copies, we'll go 605 Bravo.
Runner 22 off Echo, descend altitude 5,000 feet, QNH 1013.
John, please speak slower.
QNH 1013, Runner 22 Echo.
some rain actually. Start slowing down.
Thousand to go.
So I suspect that he will vector us.
North Shuttle 3606, right turn direct to Latmo.
Right turn direct to Lapmo, North Shuttle 3606. Slowing us down, and we will soon do flaps 1. But we really should be at 3000 at Lapmo.
Runner 22 off Echo, stay away from the 1000 feet, runner 212 Echo. 22 off Echo, due traffic increase 1500 or greater.
Okay, 1,000 feet or greater, runner 212 Echo.
North Shuttle 3606, descend to altitude 3000 feet.
Descend 3000 feet, North Shuttle 3606. Cabin crew, please be seated for landing. If I didn't tell you so. It's no need for... There we have Dublin coming up.
Runner 22 off Echo, descend altitude 4000 feet.
4,000 feet, runner 212 Echo.
North Shuttle 3606 from Latmo, cleared out, that's approach runway 28, report established.
Will comply, North Shuttle 3606.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, descend altitude 5000 feet, QNH 1013.
5,000 feet for Shamrock 25 Alpha.
Runner 22 Alpha Echo, left turn direct to Latmo, descend 3000.
11,000, 3,000, 212 Echo.
Landing
1,000 to
altitude
go.
set.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, looks like you're turning off the arrival, so I'm going to have to give you a vector for traffic. Turn left heading 280.
280 for Shamrock 25 Alpha.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, can you just confirm what the arrival being programmed in is?
One second. Shamrock 25 Alpha.
Armed approach.
We have the bar.
There's runway 28 coming in nicely, and we are over the Irish Sea in Irish weather. Couldn't be more perfect. I just wished I could go out and get a pint at the pub afterwards. Problem when you don't have ATC all the way is that once you use your call sign 5-6 times, you get it. But if you don't have ATC, you're completely idiot about it.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, turn left heading 010.
So there's our turn to final.
010, Shamrock 25.
Configure flap 5.
Runner 22 Alpha Echo, speed back 10 knots, please, 12. 080 Ryder 22 Alpha Echo.
Just a tad more.
Shamrock 25 Alpha, turn right now, heading 090.
090 for Shamrock 25 Alpha.
25 Alpha, reduce speed 180 knots. Then descend to 3000.
180 knots, then descend to 3000 to Shamrock.
15.
North Shuttle 3606, clear for the approach number 1, contact tower 180.
Cleared approach, contact tower 116.6, North Shuttle 3606.
Runner 22 Alpha Echo from Lambo, cleared out, let's approach runway 28.
Shite.
2500.
LTLS 28, okay, Runner 22 Alpha Echo.
1806. Hate when they do that. Come online on. Dublin Tower, North Shuttle 3606, establish ILS approach on runway 28.
North Shuttle 3606, very good evening, the surface wind QH 0 degrees 11 knots, runway 28, you are clear to land.
Cleared to land, runway 28, North Shuttle 3606. And we'll go flaps 30 and we will go speed 51. Engine start switches, lag, continuous, speed brake is armed, landing light, green light, flaps 30, and we are established, looking good. And a lovely evening here in Dublin. We will increase our auto brake due to traffic and weather. Cabin is secure.
1000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Set.
Approaching 28.
So let's disconnect and we are flying.
Ryder 22 Alpha Echo, continue the approach number 2. Continue 22 Alpha Echo.
500. 400. 300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Landing.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Braking, and we will exit at
4,000 feet remaining.
05.
3,000 remaining.
And right turn onto Sierra.
Right turn onto Sierra, and could you please repeat the last of the taxi instructions for North Shuttle 3606?
North Shuttle 3606, it was just right turn onto Sierra. Continue on Sierra, and I'll ask further for you in a moment.
Acknowledge, North Shuttle 3606.
Right, 2 Alpha Echo, the surface wind 260 degrees 4 knots from a 28 clear to land.
Welcome to Dublin, ladies and gentlemen. That was not too bad, actually. I'm quite happy with that.
North Shuttle 3606, next left turn, Whiskey 2, hold short 1634.
Left turn Whiskey and hold short runway 34, North Shuttle 3606.
Ryder 496, sorry about the delay, cleared to Manchester by the Liffey 5 Alpha departure runway 28 o'clock, 6615.
Cleared to Manchester, Army Liffey 5 Alpha departure runway 28, 6615, Ryder 496.
Ryder 496, that is correct, airport frequency will be approach 121.1, and you can call me when you're ready for push and start.
Airport frequency 121.1 with approach, and we'll call you for 95.
So he will send us over Whiskey. But I didn't hear if it was Whiskey 1 or Whiskey 2. Busy evening here in Dublin.
Right, 22 Alpha Echo on the ground time 07. Next right turn onto Sierra, left Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, hold short 1634.
Right, Sierra, left Whiskey 2, Whiskey 3, hold short 1634 on our 22 Alpha Echo.
We're on Whiskey 1. Hope we didn't mess up anything. And that's probably my mate wanting to play on the PlayStation.
Alright, everyone, 6, 126, ready for pushing, please.
Ryder 496, push better period, QNH 1013.
Don't approve 1013, fair right.
Sherlock 25 Alpha with you at 2000 feet, final for runway 29. Sherlock 25 Alpha surface wind 280 degrees 11 knots from like 280 clear to land.
First land, runway 28, number 25 Alpha.
North Shuttle 3606, cross runway 16 to vacate on Hotel 1 and straight on to stand 204.
Cross runway 12 straight on to Hotel 1 and stand 204. North Shuttle 3606. Should be straight ahead. Must be this one here.
Approaching 3-4.
Short final is clear. And we can shut down one and we can fire up the APU.
Niner 22 Alpha Echo, upon reaching cross runway 16 to vacate on Papa 1, link flying stand 122.
Okay.
1634, Papa 1, link flying stand 122.
Is it 4? I think it's 4. 204, yeah. We did something correct. And once we are on the center line, we will turn off our taxi lights so we do not blind ground guidance people. There we go. Parking brake set. APU on, and we can kill the engines. And we can kill the lights. Kill this. And we can do this here, and we can do full Monty today. Boom, 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 boom. Drive up all, and we can open our doors.
Sure, 125 Alpha on the ground time 12, next right turn Sierra and hold short hold 34.
First, Sierra, hold short 133, turn up to 5 Alpha.
Okay, so we can have the ground guys at the chucks and connect the GPU. We are ground power. Connect the APU.
496.
Cabin crew, please disarm doors and slides. And let's just clean up a bit more here. Looking rather good.
Taxi link 5 Papa 1 hold short of runway 1.
Perfect. You can come off.
3 times Papa 1 hold short runway 16. Then Rhino 496.
A lot of traffic, you know. perfect. It's really nice to have Dublin come alive for us. And we can disembark our passengers and say thank you very much for flying with Norwegian.
125 for the
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good evening, Killian. Behind the passing company traffic from right to left, pushing status approved, QH 1013.
Let's just
1013, we have traffic taxi for start for XR 605 Bravo.
And we will do this here.
486 Victor, Boeing 737.
Looking at my Picasso. So what we would want to see here is... that's not bad at all, actually. That's approved.
6614 airborne 121.1.
And arrive at stand and complete the flight. Yes, thank you. And that's the first time I have been in Dublin with Project Fly, so I have got that in my passport. So that's just...
correct, call me fully ready for push and start.
So here you have... I only started using Project Fly recently, so actually I did a European tour where I went from Oslo to Bergen and on to Edinburgh and Dublin and Heathrow and then to Schiphol, and then I started. So all of these flights I have done quite recently. And you guys have been on board for some of these here. And then this one.
We're 496.
What I really like
turn on to runway 16.
Project Flights, right up my alley
runway
for a geek like me. So here's my passport. So you get your flags lighting up for every country you have visited with the Project Fly on. So there's my new one, Ireland. Perfect.
Route 25 Alpha, cross runway 34 to vacation Bravo 2, Bravo 1 and standard choice.
Let's just mess this up so we can get some silence and then step outside and have a look at a busy Dublin airport. And yeah. Very nice evening and nice to see so much traffic and have good ATC. I would have loved to have been prepared for the tower frequency that I on a short final, but I'll take a screenshot of that. That looks nice. So a nice Irish evening here in Dublin, plenty of traffic and superb ATC. To the guys doing the VATSIM in Dublin, thank you so much for the service you're providing. It's invaluable. And I can only encourage people to donate and to support VATSIM. Do a fabulous job at making the sim come alive as the sun is setting here. It's so much more vibrant when you can actually interact with other pilots and ATC. So yeah, with those words I would like to thank you for flying with Norwegian or with me this evening. It was a pleasant flight and I really enjoyed it, and I will do one very soon again, I promise you, where we will be taking off from Dublin to I don't know where yet. As always, please like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel, and what supports the channel supports the community, supports the flight simming hobby, so it's only positive. I'm really glad to have you watching, and I wish you a very, very pleasant evening.